In this video, we're going to go through on Anglo-Chinese School Primary 2024 P6 Preliminary Exam Mathematics Paper 1. So let's get started on the first question over here. So question 16, find the value of 20 minus 4 plus 8 divided by 4 plus 5. So in this case over here, this is what we call the order, right? Order of operations, right? From left to right. Okay, so first we is the brackets. Then what do you think the next one is? Right, the next one is inside. It will be divide or multiply. And last one will be add or subtract. Okay, so in this case over here, the order operations for this, we have 20 minus 4 plus 8 divided by 4. So you also have in the brackets division and addition. So which one start first? Always follow this, right? Next, divide or subtract. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna highlight what we need to do first. 8 divided by 4 inside the brackets. Okay, so then we just equal, right? And then this will become 20, right? Minus bracket 4 plus, so 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then we have plus 5. Okay, so the next one, what do you think it is? If you said it is the 4 plus 2, then you're right, the brackets basically. So in this case, it will be 20 minus 4 plus 2 is 6 plus 5. Okay, and then I think from here you can roughly go through lah, right? 20 minus 6, this is 14 plus 5, this will be 19. Wait, 20 minus 6 is 14 plus 5. Yes, then this will be 19. Okay, so the answer to this is 19. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question 17. Find the value of 68.2 divided by 4. So we just have a normal division, right? So 68.2, and then we divide it by 4. That's what we see over here. Okay, so now we just divide as per normal. So 66, this will be then, we can minus 4. Okay, so that means it's 1. So 6 minus 4, this will be, what do you call this? 2, right? Okay, so 2, then we bring down 8. Okay, so what is 28 closest to 4? This we can minus 26. Hey, sorry, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. We can minus 28. The right, so this will then be 7, right? And then we can cancel this. So now we are left with the dot 2. So dot 2, we cannot do anything much. So we will put a 0. Okay, so we bring down another 0. Okay, so 20, we can minus 20, right? And this will give us nothing else. Okay, so this will be 17.05 in this case over here. So the answer to this is 17.05. All right. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Let's move on to question 18. May's clock at home slows down 1 minute after every 6 hours since the battery runs low from 12 midnight. It's now showing 6 p.m. What should be the correct time now? Leave your answer in 24-hour clock. So slow means, so if I were to write down 1 minute slow means if it's 12:01, it's 12:00, something like that, right? Okay, so in this case over here, if it's 12:00, sorry, 12:00, okay, I'm just gonna put like this, it's 12:01. Okay, so 1 minute slow means if it's 12:00, it's 12:01. Okay, so we want to make it into 24-hour clock. So 12 midnight is equal to 0000. Okay, so easiest lah. It can be 24:00, but 0000 is the best. And then 6 p.m. is equal to what? 6 p.m. It's not 0600. That is a.m. So it's actually 1800. Okay, so from here, every 6 hours since the battery runs from midnight. So 12 midnight, okay, to 6 p.m., where 6 p.m. is equal to how many hours? 18 hours, right? Because from 000 to 1800 is 18 hours. Okay, so from here, we know that 6 hours will be 1 minute additional, right? So that means 18 hours. okay, is equal to 1 times. So basically it's 18 divided by 6 times 1 will be 3 minutes additional. Okay. So in this case over here, 3 minutes additional. So that means if 3 minutes, okay, 3 minutes slow after 6 p.m. or slash 1800, that means it's equal to 1800 3 minutes. Oh my god, no, 1 minute, 3 minutes slow, or 1 minute slow, 3 minutes slow. Okay, means after 6 p.m. is 1800 plus 3, which is equal to 1803. So that's the answer, 1803 over here. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer. Okay, so 1 minute slow at 6 p.m. So 1 minute slow means at 12 p.m. 12:00. It's actually 1201. Okay, like this. All right, that's it. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question number 19. What is the area of the shaded triangle? So what's the base? What do you think the base is? Base is 10 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters. So little note over here, right? So base is perpendicular to the height. That's number one. Okay. Oops, number one. And number two is uh base. Oops, dollar two. Number two is base can only be solid line. Okay, I'm going to put here like this. Okay. So what is perpendicular? You might ask like this. So one, and then two, and then you have a rectangle, 3. So perpendicular. Okay, so therefore base is 10 centimeters, and the height is 6 centimeters over here. Okay, so from here, area is equal to half times base times height, which is equal to 10 half. Okay, so I'm going to put this at the next one like this, right? So half times base is 10 times height is 6, right? It's basically 5 times 6. This will give you 30 centimeter, okay, square. That's what you see over here. There you go. So that's the answer, 30. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 20. The amount of water in a beaker at first is shown as below. After Zoe poured in 50 milliliters of water in a beaker, what's the total amount of water in the beaker now? Okay, so let's see. We have a number of gaps. We have 1 and 2, right? So two number of gaps. So 2 gaps is equal to 40. Wait, no, 40 ml. So one gap is equal to 40. Oops. And then we divide by 2 equal to 20. Okay. So from here, we know that current water is equal to 160 plus 40. This will give us to, wait, sorry, 20, not 220. It's equal to 180. So after 50 ml, poured in is equal to 180 plus 50. Okay, and this will give us 230 ml. There we go. So I'm going to put ml and ml. Milliliters. So the answer is 230 in this case over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 21. Okay, so in the figure below, ADE is a right angle isosceles, sorry. Okay, right angle isosceles triangle is what I see over here, and BE is a straight line, right? BE is here. So AE is equal to DE, right? Isosceles, and ACB is 84 degrees. Find ABC. ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in this case over here, so we know that this triangle over here is a isosceles triangle. So I'm going to highlight this. So for an isosceles triangle, two of the opposite sides are the same, right? So that means in this case, angle DAE, right? DAE is equal to angle um, ADE, which is basically 180 minus 90, and then we divide this by 2. Okay, divide this, oh, divide this by 2, and this will give us, so 90 divided by 2 is 45. Okay, so we know over here, whoops, that this over here is 45 degrees. Okay, 45 degrees, right? So we also know, did you know that uh, this is also a right angle triangle, because in this case, oh, oops, no, wait, hold up. Okay, where's my line again? So that is also a right angle triangle. That's what you see over here. Okay, okay. So over here is a 90. Oops, give me a second. Over here is a 90 degrees, and this is 45. That means, okay, so let me just write it here. Okay, this is degrees. All right, so angle EAB is equal to 90 degrees, right? So from here we know that means BAC angle BAC is equal to 90 minus 45, which is equal to 45 degrees. So since this is also 45 degrees, right, over here as well, right, then we can just minus lah, right, to get angle ABC, right? Oops, angle ABC is equal to 180 minus 84 minus 45, and this will give us 184 so 45. I'll just give 135 minus 84. Right, this will give us 51 degrees. So obviously over here. Alright, so the answer to this is 51 degrees. Okay, there we go. That's the answer. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, question 22. A baker had 3 boxes of flour, 2.7, 3.4, and 5.02. He repacked them equally into 4 bags. What's the mass of each flour? Okay, so we'll just get the total. Total is equal to 2.7 plus 3.4 plus 5.02. Okay, so from here we can add these two up. So 2.7 plus 3.4 is 5.1. 5.1 plus 5.02. This will give us 10.12. So this is the total. So we want to pack them into 4 bags. 2.7, sorry, 2.7 is 5, 6. 6.1, right? And then 6.1, so it's 11.12. Okay. So mass of each bag is equal to 11.12, and then we divide it by 4. Okay, and what will this become? Okay, so over here we can minus 8. Okay, so 8 will be 2 in this case over here. 2 point something, right? Okay, so 8, then this will be 3. 3.1 over here. So 3.1 we can minus 28, 32. So 28 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. So we minus 28. Okay, and in this case, this will then give us okay, 2.8. This will give us 3, right? 3.1 is this, and then bring down 2. Okay, so that means 2.78 kg. So minus 32. Then yeah lah, minus 32, we get the answer lah. So in this case, it's 2.78 kg or grams, sorry. Oops, kg. So they want it in grams, which is equal to 2.78 times 1000 is equal to 2780 grams. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put here 2.78 kg is equal to 2780 grams. So better be careful on what you need to write over here, otherwise you get it wrong. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 23. So the table shows the prices of pens and erasers sold at a bookshop. Erasers is B cents, pen is 2B cents. So Mark spent $4.20 on 5 erasers and 1 pen. Find the value of B. Okay, so 5 erasers, right, is equal to B times 5, which is 5B, right, cents. Can put C over here. And then we have 1 pen is equal to 2B cents. Okay, I'm going to put cents lah. Okay, so easier. Okay, so that means total in B cents is equal to 5B plus 2B is equal to 7B cents. Okay, so and then from here, um, find the value of B, right? So 7B is equal to dollars 4.20. Then 1B is equal to 4.2, and then divided by 7 is equal to dollars 0.60. Okay, so the answer is dollar 0.60 cents. Okay, or 0.60 in this case over here. So you can put 0.60. It doesn't say cents. You can put this on or 60 cents. That's fine as well. Okay, sure. Both, I think, will be okay. Okay, question 24. The figure below shows the nets of the cube over here. Jane wrote the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 without repeating the faces of the cube. So the sum of the 4 numbers added horizontally, this is equal to the sum of the 3 number when added vertically, this. So when the net is folded to form a cube, 3 is seen at the bottom of the cube, or 2 possible numbers on the top of the cube. So the top of the cube is here. So I'm going to write here, top of the cube. Okay, so for those who don't know, horizontally means left to right, vertically means top to bottom. So usually how I remember is V. V means pointing down, that means top to bottom. Okay, anyway, so top, what's this? Top is here. So this is the top. Okay, right. Oh, can I drag this down? Yes, this is the top. So it's either two numbers, lah, right? The two possible numbers, you can switch them up. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name them A, right? So I'm gonna name individually A. We have B, okay, right, and then we have C, and we have D. Okay. So in this case over here, it says that horizontally and vertically is the same. So let's write down as an equation. Okay, A plus B plus 3 plus 1 is equal to C plus 3 plus D. Okay, so at the same time, I want to also highlight this is the horizontal, horizontal, and the other side is vertical. Okay, pretty straightforward in this case over here. Okay, so now we also know what's the leftover number. Okay, so leftover number. Okay, so we have 1 that is already done. So 2 is not done, 3 is done, 4, then 5 and 6. Okay, a die has a number until 6. Okay, so now we have leftover number that's 2, 4, 5, and 6. We can be A, B, C, or D. So how do we figure out? You can guess and check. I have a more logical way to do. So first is that we know that A plus B plus 3 plus 1 is equal to C plus 3 plus D, right? So why not we just add all of this? So we can say horizontal, right, plus vertical, right, is equal to leftover number plus what's already there. What's already there. So essentially it's basically 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. Okay, so if you count in this case over here, 2 plus 4 is 6. You got 6, 6, 6, and then we have another 6. So it's like 24. Okay, so 6, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so 24 basically, right? So since horizontal is the same as vertical, that means one side, okay, is equal to 24, and then we divide it by 2, and this will give us 12. Okay, so now we know that AB plus 3 plus 1 is equal to C plus 3 plus D. Okay, so from here, let me just make this as this individual thing over here. Okay, so now we can know what is the value for each, which in this case over here, I'm going to copy this. A plus B plus 3 plus 1 is equal to 12. Okay, so that means I'm going to write this down. A plus B is equal to plus 4 equal to 12. A plus B is equal to 12 minus 4, which is 8. Okay, so numbers that equates to 8. So number, okay, left over number that is equal, okay, I'm gonna move like this. Okay, equal to 8 is 2 and 6. Okay, since we know we only need A and B, right? So that means the top can be 2 or 6. There you go. That's the answer. Possible is 2 and possible is 6. Okay, that's about it. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 25. Mrs. Go had 25 apples and some pears at first. She gave away some apples, and 1/4 of the remaining fruits were pears. After buying 8 mangoes, 1/6 of the total number of fruits were pears. How many apples did Mrs. Go give away? Okay, so how do we change this? Solve this. Okay, so first we know that there is a change, right, between here. So 1/4 the remaining fruits were pears, and then after that they changed for 8 mangoes. I know there were a lot of unknown things, but the known things is here. 1/4 the remaining fruits were pears, and then after buying 8 mangoes, 1/6 of the total number of fruits were pears. Okay, so over here, okay, I'm gonna write this. So one remaining pairs, right, is equal to 1/4. Okay, so that means I want to convert to units. So remaining, remaining pairs is equal to 1 unit, and then total remaining remaining fruits is equal to 4 minus 1 equal to 4 units. Okay, so always have this in mind first. Okay, and then after that, remaining so apples is equal to 4 minus 1 equal to 3 units. Okay, so now we know that in this case, after she gave away some apples, we are left with 1 unit of pears and 3 units of apples. But okay, in this saying, after buying 8 mangoes, right, did our pears and apples change? No, right? uh, Pears and apples didn't change. So that means, okay, I'm going to draw a line here. uh, so 1/6 in in the end, in the end. So in the end, pairs, which is this, is equal to 1/6. And if you were to convert to units again, convert to units, that means in the end pairs is equal to 1 unit. Since pairs are the same, total is equal to 6 units. So that means mangoes, that means in the end, what do you call this? Apples. Let me go. In the end, total. In the end, total. In the end, apples is also 4 units. So that means in the end, mangoes, you're gonna have to make this smaller, right? So remaining pairs like this. So in the end, pairs, I'm gonna move this here. Okay, in the end, pairs is 1/6, convert to units. Since pairs are the same, right? So in the end, total 6 units. In the end, mangoes is 6 okay, so apples is not 4 units, apples 3 units. So that means 6 minus 3 minus 1 equal to, okay, 2 units. So that means, so yeah, so that means 2 units is equal to 8 mangoes. So 8, right? So 1 unit is equal to 8, and then we divide it by 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, so now we know this. The next part is that over here, the remaining apples. So remaining apples is equal to 3 units. Okay, so 3 units is equal to 3 times 4 equal to 12. So you know that Mrs. Go at first apples is equal to 25. So uh, apples given away is equal to 25 minus 12, which is equal to 13. So that's the answer over here. Okay, okay, there we go. Right. Okay, so the answer is 13 over here. Oops. Okay. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question 26. Okay, says here two empty tanks with bases measuring 40, 25, and 30 and 20 are shown below. Both tanks are filled with total of 8 liters of water to the same height. What is the water level in both tanks? Okay, first step is, since both of the height is the same, we can say let 1u be the height of the tanks, right? Okay, so first tank volume, which is equal to length times breadth times height, is equal to 40 times 25 times 1u. Okay, and that means this is equal to, so 40 times 25 is 1000, and then put u at the last one. Okay, second one is the second tank over here. Okay, second tank volume, so this will be 30 times 20. Okay, and this will give you 600 u. Okay, right, centimeter, okay, centimeter cube, right, in this case over here. Okay, so now we know both of the tank's volume and both have the same height. We can also say that, okay, let me just put this whole thing its own thing. Okay, so that means first and second tank volume. Okay, so 8 liters is equal to 8000 centimeter cube. So that means 8000 is equal to first tank volume plus second tank volume, right? Okay, so let's say, all right. So from here, oops, wait a sec. So from here, we can just add in 8000 equal to 1000 plus 6,600, 1000 u plus 600 u. So 8000 is equal to 1600 u. So 1 u is equal to 8000, and then, oops, 8000, and then we divide by 1600. Okay, so in this case, this will then become it's basically 80. So 80 divided by 16, and I think you know the answer, 5. So the answer to this question is 5 centimeter over here. All right, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 27. Okay, so it says here the table below shows a group of students and the number of digital devices they owned in a survey conducted. Right, the pie chart shows the percentage of students in each group. Study the table and pie chart carefully. Answer questions 27 and 28. Okay, so A is 40%, so it's 0 device. D is 5%, which is more than 2. C is 2 devices, and B has 1 device. Okay, so easier if you just write one device. Okay, and then this is zero device. So usually recommend to do this because easier to refer rather than looking at the chart, because it's yeah lah. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah lah. Okay, so more than two device, which is D. So I'm gonna put a little like and this one is this. Okay, so now according to the survey, 80 students did not have any digital device, which is zero over here. So what fraction of the total number has only one digital device? So one digital device is over here. Give your answer in the simplest form. Okay, so what fraction of total number? So the thing is that if using percentage, right, use percentage to represent fractions. Okay, so that means for this B, so one digital device is group B. Okay, but we don't know the percentage. Okay, so group B over here, right, in this case is equal to mm, percentage is equal to 100 minus 40 minus 10 minus 15, sorry, 5. Okay, so this will be 45%. Okay, so the fraction group B fraction, okay, group B fraction, okay, is equal to, right, 45 out of 100. Okay, so 45 out of 100, what can we simplify it into? Okay, so 45 of 100, if we divide by 5, I think it's the most straightforward. So divide by 5 for both one, the numerator and denominator. So what would this give us? So for 10, 50, yep. So this will then give us, okay, 45 divided by 5, this will give us 9. 100 divided by 5, this gives us 20. Okay, so the answer to this question is 9 out of 20 over here. Okay, right? So that's it. Let's move on to question 28. How many students had more than one device? Okay. So students who have one device. So one device is B. More than one device. Okay. So more than one device is group C and group D. Okay. So over here, whoop, whoop. So more than one device is equal to group C plus group D. Okay, so in this case, so I want to use percentage as well. So I just put percentage, which is equal to, so in this case 10 and 5%. So 10 plus 5, which is equal to 15%. All right, so we know that 15% is students who have more than one device. So now it says 80 students did not have any digital device. So you see here 40%. So that means okay, 80 students don't have digital device. Okay, 80 students, which is also 40%. Right, I'll just put here 40% of students don't have digital device. So that means 40%. Okay, oops, percent is equal to 80. Right, 80 students. Okay, so 1% is equal to 80 divided by divided by 40, and this will give us 2. So 15% is equal to 15 times 2, which is equal to 30. Okay, there you go. So there's the answer. 30 students have more than one device. Okay, let's move on to question 29. So it says here, Peter spent $60 of his weekly allowance and saved the rest. During Christmas, his spending increased by 20%. As a result, his savings decreased by 10%. How much was his weekly allowance? Okay, so in this case over here, we know that he spent $60 for his weekly allowance. Okay, so during Christmas, okay, Christmas spending, or yeah, just say Christmas spending increased is equal to 60. Whoops, 60. Where's my 6 times 20%? Okay, so dollars 60 times 20%. So in this case over here, 20 out of 100. Okay. Yeah, I'll just put here first. So $60 times 20 out of 100. Okay, so 20 out of 100 basically is 1/5, right? So you divide it by 20 for both. Okay, so 20 divided by 8, and this will then become oops, equal to $60 times, and then we have 1 out of 5. 5. So 1 out of 5 over here. Okay, so from here I think we can get the answer, which is essentially $12. Okay, dollars 12. Okay, so now we know that Christmas spending increase. Since Christmas spending increased by dollars 12, savings decreased. I'm gonna put this as its own thing. Okay, so savings decreased, right, by 10%. Increased by 10%, which means, right, in this case, dot dot dot. All right, that means 10% savings is equal to dollars 12, and then that means 100% savings, okay, is equal to 10 or 100 divided by 10, which is actually 10, all right, times dollars 12. This will give us $120. Okay, and since his whole allowance, right, okay, his weekly allowance is so weekly allowance is equal to spending plus savings. That means spending is $60, $60 plus dollars 120 in this case over here, right? And that means this is equal to dollars 180. There you go. So the answer is $180, not 200, $180. All right, let's move on to the last question. Question 30. In the figure below, ABGH is a parallelogram. So I'm going to draw some parallel lines over here. Okay, so at least we know which one is a parallel lines. Okay, and then CFGH is a rhombus. Okay, so rhombus, that means this is equal to this. Okay, this side is equal to this side, and then this side is also parallel, is equal to this side over here as well. Oops, like this. Okay, so DEGH is a trapezium. DEGH is a trapezium. So that means this is parallel as well. Okay, so EDH is 132 and CHD is 20 degrees. Find BAH, which is this one. So I'm going to draw it so it's easier to see. All right, so since we know that this over here, this ABGH is a parallelogram, that means we just need to find this as well. Okay, if we can find this, then we can find the answer essentially. Okay, so first we know that DEGH is a trapezium. We actually can get DHG. Okay, so angle, right? This case DHG, right, is equal to 180 minus 132. Okay, so in this case it would be 48 degrees. Okay, so now the next thing is that since we know, oops, this is 48 degrees, I'm gonna just draw this and put here as 48 degrees. Okay, so the next thing is that we also know that half of a rhombus, right, in this case, which is this whole thing, is also isosceles triangle. So, right, H HCG is an isosceles triangle since it's half a rhombus. Okay, so that means angle HCG is equal to angle CGH, Changi General Hospital, which is 80, 180 minus, so we need to bracket this, right? 180 minus 20 minus 48. Okay, and then we divide it by, divide it by 2. So from here, that means this is 182 minus 20, 160 minus 48. So I'm just gonna write this down. Just raw dog this 160 minus 48. So that means this is equal to 112. So 112, yes, divided by 2, this will become 56. Right? So now we know that this is 56. So I'm gonna copy this, paste it over here. So this is 56 degrees. Since this angle is the same as this parallelogram, right? So since, what is the parallelogram? ABGH. ABGH is a parallelogram, right? Opposite angles are the same. So that means angle CGH is equal to angle BH. So angle CGH, right, is equal to angle ABH. ABH, bar equal to, in this case, 56 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, paste this below. And that's the answer. This is 56 degrees. There you go. That's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.